Hey guys, Savage Recovery back for another video. How are my savages doing? If you guys aren't subscribed, do me a favor. If you want to support the channel, subscribe, hit the bell, get all my notifications. Hit a like, comment, share, help me out with the algorithm. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram, you can find me at savage_red_studios, where you can see all of my photography. And also I have a Facebook page and a Twitter. And you guys can check me out on Patreon. You guys can also check me out on the Cash App. Let's get into it. Seattle Black Lives Matters protesters demand white people give up their homes. Now, Katie Davis Court says that in Seattle, BLM protesters marched through residential neighborhoods and demand white people give up their homes. Give up your house, give black people their homes. What are you going to do about it? Open up your wallets. So I'm going to play this clip real quick and you guys can see a little bit of what is going on here.
You came in here and basically bought all the land from the black people for less than what it was worth, kicked them out so you can live here. Do you know that?
Yes.
Do you know that?
Yes.
Because if you don't, now you fucking do. Now do something about it.
Yes.
Open your
What are
wallet.
you going to do?
Open your wallet.
You live in a historically black neighborhood. You live in a gentrified neighborhood.
Now, I'm not going to play all of this clip.
So how are you?
I just played a few seconds of it. A group of Black Lives Matter protesters in Seattle marched through a residential neighborhood this weekend to demand that white residents give up their homes. Footage on Wednesday demonstration posted to Twitter shows crowds of dozens chanting Black Lives Matter before an unidentified man projects himself towards nearby residents, saying they are living in a historically black section of the city as another woman in the crowd yells that they should give up their homes. Do you know that because your white ass came here, this was all black people? The man says, do you know, like, you came in here and basically bought all the land from the black people for less than what it was worth, kicked them out so you could live here? Do you know that? The man continues, because if you don't, now you fucking do. Now, do something about it. Another woman in the crowd then urges the residents to open up their wallets as the man continues to yell at the unidentified residents off camera. So how do you plan to fix it? The man continues. A woman with a megaphone urges the residents to give up their houses, and the footage shows. Give black people back their homes, she yells. You're sitting here comfortable as fuck as they didn't help gentrify this neighborhood. I used to live in this neighborhood and my family was pushed out, and you're sitting up there having a good old time with your other white friends. Now, as you can see in this picture right here with these condos, I'm an electrician and I have been in neighborhoods like this. If you go and you look up Tremont in Cleveland, Ohio, Tremont is like a hipster city of Cleveland. Like, it's got a lot of great restaurants. Mike Simon's, the Iron Chef, has a restaurant there. There's a famous chef named Dante here in Cleveland that owns Dante's next door, Ginkgo. A lot of chefs and people that also, there's Fahrenheit is a restaurant over there. There's a lot of, like, there's a whole row on Professor of chefs that have come into that part of Tremont, and they've put restaurants in, and businesses have helped build up that neighborhood to the point where Tremont is literally like where new buildings go up, and it's like hipster. It's like, also, anyone that's familiar with Cleveland, Ohio City. Ohio City is where, like, Great Lakes restaurant is. Like, there's a lot of restaurants and businesses that have invested into Ohio City and Tremont, and they've actively been trying to get the crime out of these areas, and they've been doing a good job. Tremont used to be very dangerous. There used to be a lot of carjackings, robberies, drugs being sold. There was a lot of violence back in the day in Tremont. Now, when I say back in the day, I mean, 20, 30 years ago. I've been in Cleveland since 2015, and there have been some crimes in Tremont that I've seen, but it's not like, from what I've been told from people that live in Cleveland their whole life, Tremont used to be really bad and grimy. And what it comes down to is when you're in these dangerous neighborhoods, people don't really take pride in the neighborhood, and most of the people there rent the properties, and the people that live in these communities, either from choice or not caring or not having the money, I'm not going to say it is one way or the other, but there's always trash in the neighborhoods, there's always houses ran down, there's always loose, like, stray dogs and stray cats. Like, I live in Slavic Village in Cleveland, and one of these days I'm gonna take video and go through my neighborhood and put it up on, show people what I'm talking about. But I've seen children from 8 to 12, 15 years old who go in the store and buy chips, eat the chips, and throw the bag in the like right on the ground. My neighbor upstairs and me, we don't drink, and we pick up beer bottles and beer cans and bags of chips and Taco Bell bags and Taco Bell food out of my front yard because people drive by and throw it out the window. Now, the problem is when I work in these condos, there's actually, if you guys want to look it up, it's called Tremont Black in Tremont in Cleveland, Ohio. These condos, they're modern looking condos. That's the style they go after. It's the same square with big windows, flat colors. They had two buildings, and each building had 4 apartments or 4 condos. The ones that were closest to West 11th were $500,000 condos. The ones that were away from the corner were $200,000 to $300,000 each. And the people that would buy these were people that lived downtown, and that they were business people. That they made good money, and they wanted to be able to access downtown quickly. So there are people that buy these expensive condos, and now they do. And they take these old neighborhoods that are ran down and they build them up. Like, if it wasn't for those restaurants being put down in Tremont, not a lot of people would go down there and want to invest their money. You wouldn't have $500,000 condos in that area. Just up the street from Tremont Black, my sponsor built a house out there, and it's a nice neighborhood. Like, it has great views. It's close to Ohio City, so there's a lot of food. It's close to the food in Tremont. It's close to downtown. Like, people go into these bad neighborhoods and they invest money to A, build the community up, and B, the real estate is in a good place. There's multiple factors that go into gentrification. Gentrification is not innately racist. My sponsor is black and his husband is Asian. It has nothing to do with race. But as you can tell here with Black Lives Matter, that this isn't about injustice to black people from the police. These residents are not cops. They're not. This is just about taking the pain of dead black folks, or the emotional feelings of black folks, and manipulating that into gaining money and power, and terrorizing white people to gain that. George Floyd dies and Black Lives Matter protests and they riot. What does George Floyd dying have anything to do with these people living in a house that they paid for, having to give that up? The problem of it is in these bad neighborhoods, the people rent and they don't end up buying the property. So when the property values go up and people want to buy the property, the people that own the house, that have owned the house for years and have been renting it out and been making money from it, then get to sell their house for more than what they paid for it. They're going to do that because if they spent $50K and they're in 5 years or 6 years or 10 years, they're going to get $100K out of it, and they've been getting $700, $800, $1,000 a month for 10 years, they've already like doubled their money. It's good business. Anytime you can buy something and sell it for more than you bought it for, people do that. That's what the Walmart does. That's what any store you go to does. That's what people do. So it's not racist. The problem is the people in these communities don't take pride in their community, and the property values go down. When crime happens, it goes down. And these people don't buy the property and bring it up themselves. To stop gentrification, all the people have to do is do what the people that are trying to buy the property does. Invest money into the houses and into the neighborhood, and then you now own the property and the neighborhood, and it will be safer. That's all that's happening. It has nothing to do with race, and Black Lives Matter is just trying to get political ends. But as always, guys, check me out on my next videos. Go and watch my old videos. Stay savage.